could never be consistent. No matter what I tried, I just could not be consistent. And this is how I finally changed that for good. And I'm the most consistent I've ever been, for the longest I've ever been. I do not feel like there was any chance of me going back to how things were. And this is what the video where I'm going to explain what I've done to get that way. So number one, I changed my belief pattern about who I was as a person. I had this internal narrative where I constantly told myself that I just wouldn't be as fit as everyone else. I wouldn't be as lean as everyone else. I wouldn't be as healthy and strong as everyone else. I had so many limiting beliefs that until I rewired those, I found it very hard to get consistent because I would self-sabotage. I would let myself off the hook too easy. And I just didn't deep down believe that I could be consistent. So how did I do that? Number one, I invested into a mindset coach. She was incredible. Her name is Alice. If you want her information, drop me a comment below or I will send it over to you as well. And she helped rewire my beliefs. She did something called NLP, I believe it was, which is basically like rewiring your thought patterns. But there are other ways to do this. You can do this with hypnosis. You can do this with affirmations. You can do this with therapy. You can do this with just delving into those beliefs. I think the more self-aware you become, the more you can rewire them. I've also done quite a lot of hypnosis. Hypnosis for me has been incredible. I know it's a bit woo-woo, and some of you are going to be like, wow, Liv's lost the plot. I promise I haven't. It honestly does make a difference. I think our subconscious beliefs hold us back so much more than we realize. And until we change those, it can be really hard to get past them. And now I can truly say, I see myself as someone that's consistent. I see myself as someone that's successful. I see myself as someone that does these things. And it is because I've rewired those beliefs and I've rewired those thought patterns that were literally holding me back and self-sabotaging me. So belief patterns, a strong one. If you want any proper help with that as well, I can also help. Drop me a comment below or in my bio, there is a link to more information on what I do with my one-to-one coaching as well. So that was a big one. I also realized that progress is boring. I stopped trying to think everything had to be fun. I stopped trying to think that every workout needed to be enjoyable. I stopped trying to think that I needed to enjoy tracking my calories. I think when I first started my fitness journey, everything was novel. So it was really fun tracking. It was really fun, like looking at supplements. It was really fun, like getting out for more walks, like listening to podcasts. Like everything was fun and novel. And that wore off quite quickly, which is why I struggled to be consistent because I was looking for it to feel as fun. You know, when I first started my fitness journey, I'd watch all the fitness YouTubers, all my social media was fitness. Like I was obsessed. I loved it. Whereas over the years, it's such a part of my habit, of my life and like just my normal habits now that it's not as exciting as it once was. I know most of the fitness influencer stuff they're telling me. I know everything that I need to know. So like, it's not as exciting. So it's really important to take away the need for it to be exciting and just stay consistent even when it's boring. Because there are going to be so many points. Everyone goes through phases. I go through phases where things are boring. On my period week, do I want to track my food and like work out hard? No, but I do it anyway because it's going to be boring and that is where the results come from. If there's one thing I've taken away, it is the results come from the boring work. It doesn't come from the exciting bits, I promise you that. And I also stopped focusing on the habits. So stop focusing on the results and started focusing on the habits. So what I mean by this is I always had a goal of I want to lose 10 kilograms by summer. I want to tighten my waist and build some abs. I want to build my glutes, like whatever the goal was, it was always very results driven. Now, don't get me wrong, every single client that obviously comes to me has an outcome they're looking for. And like, there's nothing wrong with wanting a certain result. There's nothing wrong with having an outcome in mind. The issue is when that's all you look at, that is when you can start to self-sabotage. That is when you can start to get so pent up on that you almost like rush the in-between stages. You don't think about what you need to do to get to that goal. You're just obsessed with that goal. And like the way you're going to get to that goal is the habit. So double down on the habits. So with a lot of my clients, we obviously have a goal weight or we have, a goal of building a certain amount of muscle or toning up in certain places. But all I really look at is the habits. All I really look at is, did we get enough workouts in? Did we do the volume required to grow that muscle group? Did we hit enough protein? Are they having the right supplements? Are their bloods okay? Like I look at the habit side of things and it has been an absolute game changer to not only my own consistency, but also my clients' consistency, because from focusing on the habits, obviously the results come. Whereas when you focus on the results, I really do think results are slower. So that is a really important one. And finally, I stopped obsessing over the plan. So what I mean by that is I stopped being so black and white with it. I stopped being so, strict with every area, because there is, if you want a real true transformation, you do need to be tracking your food or following a meal plan or eating for your goals most of the time. You do need to be doing most of your workouts. You need to be doing most of your steps. You need to be doing most of the cardio, blah, blah, blah. There's so many different things that come into it that it can feel a bit overwhelming. I took the pressure off. I told myself what the bare minimum for everything I needed to do was, and anything over that was a bonus. So my bare minimum each week is 2 or 3 strength workouts. Almost every week I get 4, but because the goal is 2 or 3, I get those boxed off early in the week, and then I just know that I'm going to get the rest in. Whereas if, for example, there's a week where I only get 1 or 2 in, it doesn't matter because I still hit that bare minimum. And again, like reducing the barrier to success and taking some of the pressure off has made me so much more consistent, because I don't see a week as a failure. I see it as a learning point. So if something hasn't gone well and I did only hit that 2 or 3 workouts rather than the 4 I'd love, then that's fine, because that's still the bare minimums. But what can I learn and take away from it to be more consistent next week? So if you struggle with consistency, if it's something you've struggled with for a long time, let me know if you have any questions around consistency or anything that you find is really throwing you off, and I can give you some free advice in the comments below. Obviously, make sure you're subscribed, because I drop educational videos twice a week. And like I said, there's more information on my coaching and what I do one-on-one to truly transform clients in my bio.